All right, boys and girls, welcome back. And we have the end of month banner trailer to go ahead and check out, so let's go ahead and run this. Now, what kind of unit is it going to be? Is it going to be an emblem? Is it going to be a legendary? It is an emblem. Okay, so Roy? Yes! Oh my god, yes, finally. All right, there we go. Of Binding, aka of Sealing. Sword of Seals. Okay, so here we go. We finally have Emblem Roy. Shoutouts to Phoenixblade. This man has like 4,000 orbs saved up waiting to go for this Emblem Roy. So he's going to be a sword infantry, and exactly as I predicted, he is going to color share with Emblem Lucina. I wasn't exactly sure it was going to be an Emblem hero until I saw that New Heroes Return banner and the amount of bait they were trying to pull with that. So to me, that was the dead giveaway that we are getting an Emblem. All right, we got here 47 HP, 75 attack, 67 speed with a buff from somewhere, 44 defense with a debuff from somewhere, and then 42 res. Looks like he has a new ace skill as well, by the way. All right, so he does have Miracle, which is something that this ring was infamous for in Engage. He has Holdout, and Marnie on one of the maps had the ring, and combining Holdout with her having like 5 HP bars, you had to kill her. You had to land like 5 or 6 killing blows on her consecutively to get rid of her. So, Young Lion Edge, 16 might, 1 range, enables Canto Distant +1 with a max of 4, -1 special trigger, distant counter. For unit and allies in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit, recovers 40% of units or allies' max HP as their combat begins. Triggers after effects that deal damage as combat begins. Only highest value is applied, doesn't stack. So that's basically just Breath of Life. All right, then also grants all stats up X for unit, where X is 15, and then for allies, X is 5. Reduce the effects of deep wounds by half, and neutralize the effects that grant special cooldown charge to foe or inflict guard on unit or ally. So he also gives drive tempo on top of that. And then also unit deals plus 25 damage, reduce damage from foes' attacks by 15, and reduce damage from foes' special by another 15. And he also has a style. He has the Binding Blade style. So yeah, if you guys are familiar with FE6, probably my favorite of the Game Boy Advance games, the Binding Blade in that game is like the sickest sword in the whole series. You can use it as an elixir, or you can also use it to attack from 2 spaces away. And it gives crazy stats too. So, yeah, traditionally in like classic Fire Emblem, this was one of the most busted weapons. So we have here Blazing Lion, his unique special, 5-hit cooldown. When special triggers, boost damage by unit speed. At start of player phase or enemy phase, grants reflex and increased speed difference necessary for the foe to make a follow-up by 10 to unit and allies in 2 spaces. Bam. He's good. You see reflex there, and he also gives Frozen as an added support. So there you go. All right, then also reduce damage from foes' special or foes' attacks by 40%, excluding AoEs. Neutralize effects that guarantee foes' follow-ups and prevent units' follow-ups. And also, if unit's HP is over 1 and foe would reduce HP to 0, unit survives with 1 HP. Once per combat, does not stack with other effects, and when this effect triggers, other similar effects granted to unit are considered triggered. Now, this is special-based Miracle, so Fatal Smoke 4 is not going to turn this off, nor is the like drive debuff that units like Haithrun have, where they just negate non-special Miracle effects. That's not going to work on Blazing Lion because it is a special attack. So, yeah, very hard for enemies to get around this. If decreasing speed difference necessary to make a follow-up by 10 would allow unit to trigger a follow-up, then it gets potent 100. And then if unit initiates combat, applies Divine Vein Flame on 5 spaces in a line centered on the foe's space, and 5 spaces behind those spaces for 1 turn after combat. So yeah, that's also another thing that he did. His ring also sets up flame tiles. So yeah, I mean, this guy is going to be certified goated for sure. I'm sure his ring is going to have like flame tiles and Miracle. Okay, so Rise above 4, his new ace skill, grants HP up 7 and then all stats up 12. I believe those are visible stats too. That's actually insane that those are visible stats. You know why? Because Patience just got a whole lot easier to use now. All right, then also unit deals plus 7 damage. And reduce damage from foes' first attack by 7. First attack and brave attack. Yeah, that's a really good ace skill. Now, the hope is that armors will be able to inherit that, because you're going to want to put that on your Grima from the demote banners, as well as basically anyone who you were planning to give patience to that was arena viable, that also happens to be a slow armored unit. Like Myclin, he's going to be awesome with this. Well, I mean, if you want to use this over Fortune to prevent his transformation, it's up to you, but this would allow patience to be way easier to activate on him. All right, then we also have pair up 4, attack and speed faith, and then his emblem ring grants all stats up 3. So essentially it's Fury 3 right there. And it's visible stats. Again, making patience a lot easier to activate. I wasn't expecting them to give raw stats on Roy's ring like that. Very interesting. And then when special cooldown triggers, or when special triggers, boost damage by units max special cooldown count value times 4. Excluding on AoEs, and then if foe initiates combat and if unit's HP is greater than 1 and foe reduces HP to 0, you survive with 1 HP once per turn and doesn't stack with other similar effects. Okay, so no fire tiles. Interesting. I was really thinking they were going to put the fire tiles on the ring instead of giving him Fury 3, but I mean the stats or the fire, I think the fire tiles would have been better. But the stats are definitely useful for sure. So we're not going to say no to that. And then special base miracle on the ring, which is going to be very good, obviously. Now you don't have to worry about enemies with Fatal Smoke 4 turning off your miracle. Yeah, and his attack animation should be awesome as well, because personally, I thought the Sword of Seals had the best animation in the GBA era. Alright, so we're going to dance him with Byleth. I mean, Roy is giving a lot of support. Oh, his style, too. We completely forgot about this. Yeah, this homie has a style, too. So, unit can attack foes 2 spaces away. Decrease speed difference necessary for unit to make a follow-up by 10. That's very good, because he has Potent 100 based on a speed check, right? So, like, that's going to make that real easy for him. And then can't move through spaces in 2 spaces of foe that has triggered Bulwark. Unit suffers a counterattack if any of the following conditions are met. Foe is armored with 1 range. Foe can counterattack regardless of range, or foe's range is the same distance as between unit and foe. And then after combat, movement effects don't occur. Skill effect range treated as 1. Yada, yada, yada. Once per turn style. So, yeah, I was expecting him to have a range style. Because, yeah, as I've said many times, the Sword of Seals is pretty badass. All right, here we are in combat against Rhea. This should be this is where the animation should be really cool, because it's like a big explosion of fire. Oh no, he just does the slash, whatever. That's lame. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the Sword of Seals animation when you attack from range is so good. Especially when you get a critical hit, too. It's literally just like a big fire explosion. Alright, so now they're going to show Byleth attack, mainly to show off the drive support that Roy is giving, which we saw proc right there. But was this really necessary to show? Probably not. I mean, we get it, right? We get that Roy is giving a lot of support. Alright, hurry up and get to the units on the banner so I can tell people to summon. Because, as you guys already are aware, these emblem banners are, for the most part, must summons. Now, Lucina, I don't know if Lucina was a must summon. She's very good, of course. But outside of her bonus seasons, I haven't really used her that much. So, yeah, I mean, and her ring, I think, is one of the weakest. Meanwhile, Roy's ring seems immediately useful for a whole lot of different things. Okay, dude, I'm just skipping this shit. I don't want to watch any more animations. We've seen way more than enough. Like, are they for real with this? They're just going to keep showing animations that don't matter? Please. Streamline these trailers, for God's sake. Just show what's necessary. All right, so this is going to be our banner. All right, so over on red, of course, we have Emblem Roy, accompanied by Emblem Lucina, and then also Harmonic Celica. That's a huge W for me, because I don't have them yet, and I really want to get them. So, yeah, I will be summoning. All right, then on blue, we have the Mythic Heimdallr. We have the Chosen Fiorm. And who else was blue on this banner? Mythic Hodor. So that's our blue pool. Yeah, double defense mythics, whatever. But they are very good defense mythic heroes. And then Chosen Fiorm is a good unit to merge up for Arena, if you care about the Chosen Blessing. But, yeah, outside of that, not really, like, the craziest of units. Okay, then on green, we have Mythic Valley. We have Legendary Diamant. And then I think this unit was green. This Alear and Veil combo, I actually don't even remember what color they were, but I think they are green. And then finally, on colorless, we have Entwined Ninian. We have the Valentine Hortensia, and then we have Arcane Larachel. It's actually not a bad colorless pool there. Yeah, because Hortensia's assist is really good. Ninian is actually like one of the better dancers, and then, of course, Latona is one of the better inheritable staffs, and just the fodder that you can do with this Larachel when you're fodder banking some of the crazy passives. You can actually give Hortensia's assist to Larachel to duplicate it. So, yeah, just very valuable arcane hero right there. Red is by far in first place. Like, let me just tell y'all right now. We got 2 emblems and a really good harmonic. Insane fodder with Roy's new A skill. And then what would be in second place here? Let's see. I'm kind of leaning on colorless, honestly. I like what I see going on in colorless there. Now, none of these units are necessarily pivotal to have. Like, I would say the units on blue are actually more important, like Hodor and Heimdallr, especially if you don't have them yet. But if you've already got the units on blue and you're not chasing merges on Fiorm, then blue isn't actually looking all that good, and merges on defense mythic heroes aren't really that good either. And then green, I would say probably in last place, although this Veil and Alear duo, I feel like I don't really have a good grasp on how good they are, because it seems like a lot of people skip them, and I rarely ever see them do anything, and I don't have them myself to test them, so yeah, not really sure what to make of them, but yeah, Valley, if you've already got the New Year Valley, you don't really need the Mythic one. And then Legendary Diamant is a complete nothing burger. So, yeah, this is going to wrap us up for this video. Finally, we got Roy. Finally, after 3,000 years, he's here. So, this is your boy Tacho signing out. Hope y'all enjoyed it. And I will catch y'all again. Let's just end on a really nice artwork. Yeah, there you go. So, I will catch y'all again tomorrow when we get the data mines.